Now, I have made my fair share of mistakes when it comes to working on cars, but this harness situation for the car that the camera's sitting on right now, bing bong, has been a nightmare. Has been a nightmare with this wiring harness situation. I've learned a lot. I've learned way more about wiring harnesses in the past 2 weeks than I've ever wanted to know. This has been the biggest holdup I have ever had. Now we're going to rectify it. So you guys know, at first I bought a 2016 STI harness. I was like, yeah, this will fix the problem. I can use any VA chassis harness. Lies! Lies! So you can't. And then I bought a 2017 STI limited harness, but it was the wrong one. Because there's more than one Subaru. You thinking you're smart and you're funny over there. Your engineer's tricking me. And now it's time. I have the right harness. I finally have it. Your secrets, Subaru, have been foiled. You're not fooling anyone else anymore. Think you can trick me with your wiring harness debacles? Ha! Hell nah, boy. In that box is the exact same harness that my car came with. It's a VA 500 series harness. It literally just got dropped off from Subaru. Not Subaru, UPS, because I bought this secondhand for $200 because I wasn't gonna pay Subaru an enormous amount of money of $2,000 for this harness. So, this 100% should fix our issues. 100%, 110%, 120%. I am so confident that this harness right here will fix our problems that I am just, I don't know where I'm going with that. I don't know. So I will waste no time getting this harness in. Let's just jump to it and get this new chassis harness in. Because I just want it to work at this point. Just work. Oh my gosh, Okay, boys and girls. So I think we've cracked Da Vinci's code here. I think the code from Da Vinci has been cracked. We have found the national treasure and we are golden. I think. I'm not getting my hopes up quite yet because I'm still waiting for the other half of this harness to show up on Monday for like the rear section to like the rest of the car. Right now this is bulkhead forward, but I think we're pretty Gucci. Yes, I used Gucci. So with every other harness that I've tried for the car, it has had issues not wanting to conform, not wanting to go where it wants to, not having the right connectors. So far, everything is conforming absolutely perfect. Everything has a home so far. I think we have actually cracked Da Vinci's code here because the part number on this harness is the exact same one that I pulled out of the car. Now, from what my understanding is this VA 500 series harness goes for the full-on, you have absolutely every option added onto your STI. The one prior to this, the 492 harness, I think is the one that has some of the limited features where it doesn't have the push button start, but it still has some of the limited options such as heated seats and whatnot. So this seems like this is our golden ticket to get us back on track. I only have about half the harness put in here right now. I still have to wire in the harness up here, which I actually think I'm going to jump up here and do up here right now, just so that way this portion is done, because I don't want to put the Haltech harness through here up until this is like worked out, because I can't continue to put the rest of the heater core or anything else in here until I have this section. Well, I can't, after I have this section in with like the actual fan and everything like that, I can't get the harness in because I have to run it through that grommet right down there. So let's jump up into the engine bay. Let's run this wiring. All the wiring up here is for the windshield wipers, the fuse, not the fuse box. The fuse box goes through the fenders, the windshield wipers and that kind of crap. So let's jump up here and knock this out. Well, it's not the impossible. I've undone what I've done. Let me say that. I've undone my own up to get us back on track. We should be back on track as of Monday now. So all of our wiring up in the engine bay is tucked away. It's put back where it needs to be. I have the Haltech wiring pulled through right there. Over here, I've got the dash bar put back in, and all of our wiring mates up exactly where it needs to go. We have absolutely no connectors that are random, mystery. Everything has a home. This is beautiful. This is perfect. This gets us back on track right here. This is 100% the correct harness for what we're doing. I need to screw these dash bar bolts in some more because these ones are some long boys over here. However, this is absolutely perfect, you guys. This is exactly what we needed. This is the harness that we needed. So I'm gonna get as far as I can tonight, which will include me getting the fuse box back in, maybe getting the fuse box in the engine bay reassembled and whatnot, so that way come Monday when we get the rest of our harness, it's brand new in box, it's brand new OEM Subaru harness. It'll be from the bulkhead to the back of the car, bulkhead to taillights, and that is the rest of the harness that we need. Yes, I could probably use the one that I already have here that's hacked up, but at this point, let's just revert back to square one. We'll tie our Haltech into the stock wiring, and we'll run the stock ECU and the stock BIU to control the body of the car, and the stock, or the Haltech, to control the engine, and we'll piggyback it off of the stock ECU and the stock BIU. Yes, the Haltech has a CAN system built into it. However, we're going to be using both CAN systems. Yes, it's a little complex. Yes, it may be a little redundant, but it will ensure that we can fully utilize everything that we want out of the car for all of the OEM features and all of the aftermarket features that we're shooting for here. So this is absolutely beautiful. Dude, I have like a cramp in my thigh. Where did that? I don't even know where that came from. But let's get back to getting some more wiring in and making this look like a beautiful STI again. Just Buenos noches, my friends. So it is the next morning, and I just kind of let the STI sit after I got off live stream last night. So we have all the wiring on the inside done for the most part with this harness. The next harness shows up on Tuesday, but today I can keep going on things. I'm going to get the rest of the engine bay wiring done, which is going to be this fuse box right here. It's going to be the ABS module and a couple other smaller things. On top of that, the iWire battery relocation kit gets dropped off today, so I think I'm going to knock that out also, just so that way we can get like a whole bunch of stuff done today. So let's jump up into the engine bay, let's knock all this wiring out, and then we'll keep moving through and trying to get the rest of this wiring sorted, so that way we can get to this nice Haltech bundle right here. So I've got all the wiring from the front of the car up, done at this point, with the exception of this headlight plugged in because there's no headlight in there at the moment. But all of the wiring from the fuse box is reassembled as well. These things are a pain in the butt to put back together, but the fuse box is put back together as well. So now we have Haltech wiring to play with until our battery relocation kit drops off, or gets dropped off. So all I'm going to be doing with the Haltech wiring right now is pushing through all the wires that are going to end up going through the car, such as like fuel pump, all that kind of stuff. Everything else we're going to leave up in the engine bay, so that way we can start wire mapping and sorting all of that. I'm going to try to get some of this done today. I don't know if that's going to happen, but we'll see. But I've also got the fuel cap open and venting right now. There's still some like residual E85 in there. I can smell it. This car hasn't ran in a year, so if there is any old fuel in here, it may have dirtied up the fuel system a little bit. And with that being said, as soon as we get this car idling and running, I think I am going to throw a bottle of our favorite Techron complete fuel system cleaner in the car. So what this is going to do, it's going to go through there, it's going to break up any deposits that might be left over from the old fuel that's been sitting in the fuel system for like a year and a half at this point, and that'll help give me a little bit of peace of mind, just knowing that there's not going to be any like backups or deposits or anything that's going to be just sitting in the bottom of the fuel tank. We'll probably run 1 or 2 of these through the fuel system, swap out the fuel filter that we have in the car, so that way anything that might be like gummed up or stuck in there gets pushed out. We can swap it out, get everything nice and clean. You guys know I love this Techron fuel system cleaner stuff. I've used it in the 05 STI in between E85 fill-ups. We've used it in Melanie's GTI. I've put one in the Golf R. I've put one in pretty much every car that I've had at this point. It's an awesome fuel system cleaner. It's super easy to use also. Just like anything else, when you go to fill up your tank, pop the cap off, pop the thing off, dump it in, it'll mix itself as you're driving around, and it'll help clean up any of that crap that might be stuck in there. On some older cars, it may help with the fuel level sensor if that gets stuck and gummed up as well, so little bit of peace of mind. I'm gonna let that E85 vent out. Once the car is running and alive again, we'll throw some of our favorite Techron complete fuel system cleaner in the car, and if you are interested in it, links down below in the description for you guys. So let's jump to wire. Actually, before I jump to wiring, I'm gonna go call Subaru real quick to see if I can get any update on my BRZ. Alright, so most recent update on the BRZ, January. How are these getting their cars so early? What are they doing? Anyways, let's jump into our Haltech wiring here. So all we're gonna do right now is start pushing back through the firewall all of the wires that we're not, keyword there, not going to be using up in the engine bay, such as fuel pump stuff and things of that nature, ignition and whatnot. After that, I think while I still wait for this iWire harness to get dropped off, if it hasn't, or kit, it's not a harness, this kit to get dropped off, if it hasn't been dropped off by the time, we're going to figure out which wire is the ignition wire on the push to start, the 12-volt switch relay. So that way we can wire in our Haltech wire to that, just so that way we can actually start wiring in this Haltech. So let's start sorting through this harness, get everything pushed back through the firewall, and keep going. For some reason, I just had the bright idea to paint the trunk of the STI. Don't ask me why. I don't know, okay? I drilled a couple holes. I was like, I should put some touch-up paint on those. I grabbed a whole can, and I just started going to town back here. Yes, it does look better because it was like that faded blue color up there. So, I mean, if you're just standing and looking at it from like right here, looks great. So, I can't do anything back here now until this dries. So, I'm gonna run over to the shop real quick to go drop off this Evo bumper because it's just like everywhere in the way right now. Same with these seats, but the seats can't go over there because the seats are for this car. So I'm gonna run over to the shop real quick. Let's go drop this off, or let's go drop that off while this dries. By the time we come back, this should be dry. We get our battery mounted back up in here. I don't know if I'm gonna do the whole wiring relocation kit in this video. I might do that in its own video. We'll see. I don't know. We'll see what time it is when it gets dropped off, but let's go drop this thing off real quick. Alright, now that the Evo has its fun, funky, fresh bumper over here, let's go keep working on the STI. So back down at the garage, as you guys can see, I went ahead and I just got our battery tray mounted back here. I'm not going to put the battery in that quite... Okay, I'm not going to put the battery in that quite yet, and let me show you why. So I did get our iWire battery relocation kit. Now it does come with a circuit breaker, and we are going to put the circuit breaker on the battery box this time instead of mounting it to the chassis. That's how they have it in their prototype instructions. This is a prototype kit also, so I'm going to be giving them some feedback on this as we go through and install it. I'm going to do that tomorrow because it's pretty late already. Like, it gets dark out and cold and crappy so fast out here. It's awful. But so this is where I'm stopping on this one. We got a lot done today. I needed to move this box and put it somewhere else. Hold up. There we go. So we got a lot done in the past like 2 days, day and a half. It's been like a day, to be honest. Actually really happy with how the paint came out in there too. It looks 1,000 times better than it did before. So go ahead, turn that light off. Like I said, tomorrow we'll get the battery relocation kit stuff done with and taken care of. So that way we can just keep going with all this wiring stuff. I'm excited. I'm glad we're back on track with everything. Yes, we still have to test this harness, but I am 100% confident that it's going to work as it should. If it doesn't work, in the event that something happens and it does not allow the push button and everything to work, everything will work. My big thing is the push button and like it auto forcing into accessory mode. I think at that point it's a key problem and we need to reprogram the key or try to reprogram the key. I know David and some other people mentioned it beforehand, so if this doesn't solve our issue 100%, we'll go that route of trying to reprogram the key, but at least we're back to square one with the proper harness back in the car to get us back on track. But like I said, that's all I got for you guys on this one. So she will live again. So if you guys like the video, you know to go ahead, hit that like button, turn it black, blue, green, yellow, purple, silver sign, whatever color it turns for you. And if you're not already subscribed to the channel and you want to be one of these corners, no idea which one I'll put it in quite yet, but with that, I will catch you guys in the next one. Peace out, homies.